finally happened. We have some Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord War SAILS gameplay. We have a brand new release date of the 26th of November. So in 3 weeks time, we're going to be able to touch down and play it. And we also got a brand new blog as well, which we're going to be able to, see a bit more information about the ships. I'll leave a link to all of them down below in the description. I'll also leave a link as well in the pinned comments here. If you guys wanted to go watch the raw gameplay about me yapping, you definitely can do so. But in this video, we are going to run through and basically talk about everything that we do see the stuff we like, stuff we don't like, etc, etc, and yeah, basically just kind of depict what we saw. But yeah, new gameplay, a release date, it's all coming up. Bannerlord this year, and yeah, only 3 weeks to wait is going to be very exciting. So if you guys are also excited for War SAILS, then be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel because we are going to be covering War SAILS in its entirety, whether it's a review on should you buy. We don't have we don't actually have a price yet for the game, so it's hard to kind of, again, make any decisions on that quite yet. We obviously haven't played it, but I'll also be making let's plays. We'll be doing streams on it and all that lovely stuff. So yeah, if you enjoy Bannerlord, then this is a good channel to be around that, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. So let's start off at the beginning of the gameplay. The battle itself lasts about 13 minutes, which I feel is a pretty decent pace for these naval battles. As you can see, there are 8 ships in the battle on your side, and that's going to be the maximum amount of ships that you can bring to battle. At the beginning of the battle, you are going to assign your character to your flagship, and that's the ship you're going to be on and the ship you're going to be commanding. You can see there are a whole wealth of different ships that you can bring, and ships are basically like control groups for land. Much like in land battles, you have infantry, archers, etc, which you press 1, 2, 3 to command. In this one, you're basically going to be commanding the groups through the 8s. You can also give them over to AI if you want to as well. You have a few extra options with these ships as well. You can choose whether or not you just want swords or archers or both on the ships as well. So if you want to lean towards having a fleet with just like ships with just archers who will just skirmish, you can do that by clicking the buttons on your screen right now. You can also, again, the same Bannerlord command options on the order of battle right here. If you want some ships to have better soldiers on, I don't see an option for like Marines. I think that would be a nice thing to implement, actually, have like a Marine section here, because Marines don't receive any negatives at sea, whereas other units do. So maybe that'd be a nice thing if you could just toggle some ships to just have Marines, and they could be your boarding ships or whatever you want to do and have on them. So as you guys can see, we are now in the ship gameplay right there. You can move around, you can press E to select ships and give them orders. I imagine you can also use the numpad as well, like the numbers to command groups, but maybe you can't, yeah. So you can press the numbers as well and command. As I said, you can also select the ships, looking very cool. And then also unfail your sails right there. You'll be able to move the camera around with the C button. So down here on the right hand side, you can see the differences. So you can move around with the C button, switch between your ballista as well, which you actually import on your ships on the front of the position. You can also see X to unfail and sail your sails, and then Z is going to be oars. Oars can be 3 different types. You can half oar, no oar, and full speed oars, and they're basically be used to obviously counter the wind, maneuver, and just speed you up with your sails fully going. Another really interesting thing is if you look in the bottom right hand corner, the bar that goes around your ship, that will change depending on your ship. So down there you'll see these big green blocks, and that's the optimal way to get as much wind as possible. The little icon that's moving as the ship moves is going to be the actual wind direction, and you want to maximize your speed, get it in the big old green blocks, and obviously the red one is going to be where it is really, really bad. We get a nice little glimpse of artillery being flung from ships. Again, I didn't see any catapults, so I think this is ballistas shooting like a chain shot or something, multiple bits of projectiles as the ships do go zooming past each other. They actually get a very nice hit there with the artillery. And then probably the best part of the trailer coming up right now, they get a couple shots off, a couple hits off, and you can see a lot of the other ships are now engaging. Casualties on both sides, but now we start to speed up. We're in the optimal part of the sails in the bottom right hand corner, and this ship is bred for a single purpose, and you can see what that purpose is, and then smash a direct hit into the flank of the enemy ship, and that is just gonna pure sink right there. Huge amounts of damage done, 20,000 damage of ramming damage done, and that light Azerai ship is gonna go down. One of the really interesting things about it, and they go into this in the blog, is when your ship is sunk, the soldiers will attempt to get onto the nearest ship, the nearest friendly ship that they can. And if they run out of time, obviously run out of energy, they can't swim anymore in their armor, they will just unfortunately drown. But they will attempt to swim and attempt to get onto friendly ships to try and survive, which again is a cool mechanic. So even if you are rammed or you ram the enemy, them soldiers, if they don't die on impact, will actually still be able to fight. But I do think the Empire ships are going to be very good at ramming. You can see another ramming hit right here. And about that time, only 6,000 damage in the bottom left-hand side. You can see it. So again, ramming is determined on your speed and your angle, and obviously the size of the ship as well. The bigger the ship, the more damage. Obviously, it's harder to get up speed and stuff as well. So again, it's all going to matter depending on what ship you're ramming as well. But there's a huge difference right there, right? A huge difference. You can see soldiers are now throwing grappling hooks over. They pressed E to attempt to board. I imagine if you're going fast enough, you're going to be able to avoid that boarding action and carry on your merry way. But yeah, we are boarding. You can see off in the distance as well, ships are moving. He is also shooting, or they are also shooting fire arrows as well. That's because they have the brazier upgrade on their ship, so they're near one, so they're just shooting fire arrows. They do also jump into the water, go for a little swim, and outflank the enemy like this. I don't think you're going to be able to command your friendly ships to do this, but yeah, you can do that and allow you to like basically outmaneuver the enemy, come in and get some serious damage. But I mean, the Marines have basically won this battle anyway, it's not really an issue. Finishing them off, and then they come over here and they cut the ropes as well to carry on going. Now you can attempt to cut these ropes as well mid-battle. Any soldiers on the bridge will just die. So if you can push the enemy back enough, you can then attempt to cut the ropes and break the boarding and then try and sail off if you want to. Without the oars, though, it's going to be hard. But again, there's going to be some ships that are going to be strong at it, some ships that aren't. We do get a little bit of a mix of the ships. I think these are going to be the heavy Empire ships that we're seeing. And there's a few pretty large. Like I think that's probably a large, heavy Azerai ship right there. And there's a smaller one off on your camera right here as well. But it does seem like the Empire have a pretty big advantage right there. The Azerai are moving their ship in there. And that looks like or just missed the ram right there. This also looks like a smaller Empire ship as well, a little bit lighter, going in for another ram against a larger Azerai ship, but unfortunately we do not see that. No, maybe he's going in for a boarding action, not planning on ramming. Maybe just another boarding action as we come in again for another ramming action, hitting them and then obviously rotating. So you can also destroy sails as well, as the artillery does insane damage there. But yeah, you can also destroy sails as well. So I imagine there'll be some ships that are redesigned. I think in this combat we are mainly seeing ramming and boarding because that's what the Empire is good at, right? Whereas you compare that to the Nords are going to be a completely different playstyle because they don't get access to any heavy ships. They only get access to light and medium ships. So I think their playstyle is going to be quick, fast, outmaneuvering your opponents, skirmish ships, and also boarding and killing them because all of your soldiers on your troop tree are going to be Marines, so you won't get any negatives at sea. Whereas obviously Imperial Legionaries, for example, they'll get their stats debuffed because they don't have sea readiness on them, which is always interesting. Again, we're getting some more fire arrows here as we continue to board. You can also see the combat's going off, other ships maneuvering around. We're not seeing too much when it does come to commanding your fleet. It seems like in this gameplay, he knocks the guy off there, which is funny. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of like basically just pure combat going on and not really a lot of commanding. So I'm unsure, like how the commands are actually going to work. They do mention that you'll be able to do a whole wealth of things, move, skirmish, and a whole wealth of other like AI mechanics as well. So you'll be able to basically give the ships a play style, and they'll basically try and achieve that on the battle as we go off the boat again. And look at the bodies. The bodies look incredible, right? And you'll see if you keep an eye on the sea, like just from like destroyed ships as the battle goes on, you'll notice it. You'll notice like destroyed forces and stuff. And we are now on the next ship as well, defeating that one and looking for the next one. And yeah, look at that. Look at the planks of destroyed ships. And I love how rough the sea is as well. I think, again, in 1.3, they've done a great job at making it look really good. So as I mentioned, you can destroy sails as well. They don't try and do it in this battle. But yeah, archers even tougher with ships swaying as well. So yeah, archery, you're going to be moving around. I imagine that's not going to matter for the AI, though. The AI are going to be pinpoint accurate, I imagine. But hopefully it makes them a bit more difficult because you are able to hit some shots. I mean, this guy is pinning them down, which is really, really nice. And we'll come back to command the ship again. get a nice little glimpse of the wind, which is currently against our back. So I think we're going to have to probably order the soldiers back to the oars, but there's no one on them. Yeah, so now they've given the order to go back on the oars. We've cut the ropes to the bridges, so we're no longer connected to the Azerai ship. And then, yeah, I imagine the order... When I say that, no, we're just going straight to boarding. So the grappling hooks are going off. We're replenishing ammunition. You can see the grappling hooks as well. I believe the more grappling hooks you get, the more bridges get made as well. So ideally, you're going to want to... but it does look like they're trying to cut, and they've come back to control the ship to try and get a little bit further forward. And then get them grappling hooks under command. And there you go. We are now connected and able to make our way in. We aren't seeing too much from the AI as well. So again, that's something I'm a little bit skeptical on at the moment, is like how the AI functions in these naval battles, because as the player, we're not really seeing them command much, and we're not seeing, like, how many ships have we boarded? Maybe 3 or 4? So I guess, again, they've taken out the other half of the enemy ship, but the player is doing a lot here, and this is very cool as well. I believe they're about to jump in, and indeed! And now they're in, ready to scrap. Ready to get their sword bloodied as they continue on. You can see soldiers flying overboard as well as the sea sways as both sides continue to fight. Look at that as well. Very, very cool. As the sea is rough here as well. And again, you'll be getting like a whole wealth of different sea mechanics as well. You'll be getting like the storms, and you know, I imagine depending on where you are, whether you're in the Straits of the Azerai lands or you're up here in the, I think this is probably like more of a northern battle in the wastes of the north by the looks of it. I imagine the sea will be a lot rougher as soldiers fall off the boat as well. Very cool. To get your soldiers back on the ship, you do give the command to defend the ship, so that'll bring the soldiers back and bring them back into your ship so you can set sail. I know that you can take over enemy ships as well mid-battle if you want to. You board them, you kill everybody on board, and then you can then start sailing their ship with your soldiers on board. So if your ship is destroyed or very, very, very close to it, you can take over an enemy ship and basically use that as your flagship during the battle as well, which is cool. We get some more arrows here as well, so I'm not sure if he's trying to hit the sail or just trying to hit some soldiers, so we can skip ahead a little bit as we basically reverse using the oar power. As I mentioned, there are 3 types of oar power that you can utilize as again the oars come up now as we get back into the wind. You can see the little wind going in the optimal position right there for the types of sails we have. As I said, every sail will differ. I think there's 4 different types of sails, so again they'll have a whole kind of different range of like where you want to basically be hitting the wind. Right now though, we're just using oar power, we're not using the sails at all, and this ram, I can't imagine it's going to do too much damage. Yeah, they did 500 damage there as well. So, again, not much damage at all. Again, mainly just going to come in here and board the enemy ship. You can see some arrow fire going in. Once again, we're boarding away here, trying to take down the enemy just with brute, like pure power smashing in. You can see the new maces as well that were implemented in 1.3 right there. And again, this is releasing, it's something I haven't mentioned, on the 26th, but on the 26th for everyone. So console players will also get access to this. Epic Games, GOG, etc. will get access to this. And then also patch 1.3 will release alongside it as well. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Honestly, as the fighting continues, the Azerai men making their way up, and obviously I have all the new lighting of 1.3 and stuff, which is again one of the reasons why this looks so good. They did a good job of improving it and making it better. So again, just some fighting here, some scrapping, nothing too much to go in. They need to kind of clear up the rest of these ships right now. You can see the soldiers here, which is kind of cool. They're like actually hitting away with axes, cutting down the ropes to connect the ships. You get a bit of sprites spawning in there with the shields and stuff. That is fine. Again, they're going to kind of go back out. And I think they're going for like one more big... Yeah, this is like a big old ram right here, which looks really cool. And it like instantly sinks. It like goes over the ship as well, which is so cool and does a lot more damage as well. I think this ship was pretty wounded. And that is going to be it for the battle. I think one more... Yeah, basically one more attack and then they conquer this in the battle is won, and then they claim victory right there, which is very cool. Here we get a nice little glimpse of the units right now of like what survived. So we sunk one ship, a bunch of ships are very wounded, these ones are pretty healthy, and then yours are over here as well, looking pretty good. See them around, nothing really new here whatsoever, and then we obviously do get that final announcement right here, which is really exciting. Again, this was a really good showcase. I'm very impressed with naval combat. They've done a good job. And then boom, right there, 26th of November 2025. So 3 weeks from now, we'll be getting our hands on the game. which is really, really hype. I can't wait. And yeah, obviously I'll be showcasing it as much as I physically can. There is also a blog here. There's not too much I want to show off here. Again, you guys can read this if you want to. Again, I'll basically summarize everything. So right here, you have your order of battle, 8 ships maximum. You'll choose what ship you're going to be commanding by selecting your character and dragging and dropping it on a ship on your flagship, basically in the order of battle. Right here as well, you can see that the smaller ships you'll be commanding an oar, whereas on the bigger ships you will be right here basically on shouting commands as the deck master right there, giving commands of your ships. Yeah, you'll take direct control of your ship right there. Right here you can see what I was talking about with the sails as basically optimal places for your sails to go, and you can see the different types of ships right here that have different angles you're going to want to basically try and get the sea at. Right here, you'll see more about the oars as well. You can issue commands to stop oaring, some going at half pace and then them going at full pace as well. And this will all affect everything else. When the battle begins, you'll be shooting artillery at each other. You'll be able to command your friendly vessels right now, not by directing allied soldiers, but by selecting the ship itself and issuing commands such as move, follow, skirmish, engage, or target a specific enemy ship, much like you can in the vanilla gameplay. Again, I think you're probably going to be giving commands and then let it kind of go off whilst you do your own thing, but we'll see exactly how things go. And I imagine I'm going to really need RTS camera or something to get this working and having a lot of fun with full naval command. Archers and javelins also fire arrows as well if they have braces on the ship, and that's going to come down to how you decide to upgrade your ship in all of its glory. A beautiful ram right there, absolutely glorious. Look at that. Oh, beautiful stuff right there. And yeah, so you basically your ram, again, ramming will depend on the angle, the speed you're coming in, etc, etc. And obviously also the different types of sails that you have up are all going to be very important. Ships basically get destroyed when they run out of HP. I couldn't see an icon for ship HP anywhere, so I'm not 100% sure if it is shown or if you'll just kind of like have to visually indicate how much your ship is sunken or like close to sinking, etc. I'm sure there is a visual icon and I just maybe missed it. Boarding is obviously an important thing with your ropes, and we've already spoken about the grappling hooks. We also spoke about in the video as well the ability for soldiers are going to basically, when they sink or get knocked off, they're going to attempt to climb back onto the ship, but they also have an endurance modifier, which if that runs out, they will just drown and unfortunately not make it back. And then finally, you'll also be able to have soldiers on the bottom tier. So basically, much like how reinforcements happen in the land battle side of things, you're going to be able to basically have a second deck on some of the ships, and they'll spawn in extra soldiers that aren't initially in the battle. So these larger ships can stay at full capacity and keep on going and fighting hard. So that's going to be a nice thing, and that's going to again determine on the new skills and other things that you get. Finally, we also have the Steam page that is now up, live, and ready to be shown. Again, looking very cool. We don't have a price. I think I really hope they do announce a price. Like, I feel like at this point there's no reason not to. Like, you can't pre-order the game yet, which is a little bit weird. Like, it makes me think that, you know, they're still a little bit worried that maybe the game might be delayed or something. As I said, it's a bit weird that they don't have a price. This looks awesome as well, by the way. Yeah, it's a bit weird they don't have a price when the game is coming out in 3 weeks. Hopefully we'll get it. I mean, maybe you won't be able to pre-order the DLC, and that's why they're doing it. Again, I'm not mad about it. I think pre-orders are something that shouldn't exist, so maybe that's why they're doing it, but I still think there should be a price. But maybe you can't add a price unless there's a pre-order. I'm not sure. I can't remember how Steam works. Let me know in the comments. I would appreciate that. But yeah, 26th of November, 3 weeks. Very, very excited for it. I can't wait. As I said, we're going to be doing a YouTube Let's Play. We're going to be doing a subathon, and we are also going to be doing reviews on the games as well, whether or not you should buy. Hopefully, I'll get access to the game a little bit early, so I'll be able to play it and let you guys know how everything works. We'll also do tutorials on the naval battles as well and mess around with them. So there is a lot of content coming your way. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the gameplay down below in the comments. I'd be very interested to see what your opinions are. When we were on stream, a lot of people were saying they were very, very impressed on the gameplay. It was better than they expected. I'm interested to see how the other factions fare as well. Like, we obviously really only got to see the Azerai and the Empire ships, but like how the Britannians and the Kuzai ships and the Nord ships, how are they going to vary? Because they are all different. There are, I think, a total of 27 ships in the game, so including trade ships as well. So again, it'll be interesting to see that. I'm excited. Like, again, it looks good. I'm impressed. I'm excited. And yeah, this is obviously it's going to come down to price. Like, depending on how expensive the game is going to really determine whether or not it is a definite buy or maybe wait for a sale. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly how that does function. But I think overall, this has done a good job of basically showcasing that, yeah, this is actually going to slap and be really good. So I'm excited. Obviously, we need to see the whole game. If it's buggy or crashes and stuff, that's going to be another issue. But hopefully, we can be optimistic and look forward to our first DLC of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. If you guys haven't already, please do drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the gameplay and also the release date. Also, be sure if you haven't already to subscribe to the channel. There's going to be so much more Bannerlord content coming your way. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, taking your time to watch the trailer with me and stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.